I just bought the rarest car that, well, I think I've ever bought. Seriously, after I show you the spec on this one, comment down below if you even knew this car existed. I know what you're thinking. Alex, that's just an Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme. And you would be right, but this one is the Cutlass Supreme that 80s and early 90s Camaros, Trans Ams, and Fox body owners had nightmares about. Well, you know, if they even knew that this spec existed. Oh man, this thing is sweet. So this is one of about 112 Oldsmobile Cutlass Supremes with the 5-speed Getrag manual transmission and the bored out GM 3100. So they made it a 3.4 liter that GM decided to modify by adding dual overhead cams, and it's got a 7,000 RPM redline. And this thing was actually pretty quick, and supposedly they sound great. After we get this thing unloaded, we're gonna take a look at some other insanely rare features like the first factory heads-up display system. The back seat is amazing. But first, I gotta see what I bought, because this was one of those sight unseen deals off of Marketplace, and I just had it shipped here. Well, and it doesn't run either, so we gotta try and get it to run and hope that this awesome engine still works. So like a lot of cars that I buy, this thing has been sitting for a while. I mean, the tires are shot. Now, something that's super important to me is rot and rust. And I asked the owner, is this thing rotted? Is it rusted? He said it wasn't too bad, and so far so good. You like to see a body mount like that. There's gonna be surface rust on the steel K-member, but if you can still see this awesome 90s GM teal in areas like that, it should be pretty decent. Here's our engine. Looks like a fresh alternator. Oh, and look at this tag on the transmission, Getrag GM. It's got the quad tailpipes, and it says quad 442. I'm not sure if that's actually factory. You want me to push from the tire? Is it gonna roll?
No, it's not.
Oh, okay. Ah, okay. There's a cable still hooked up. All right. He's like, just push it. I'm like, is it gonna jump off? She rolls. All right. That's all I asked for of the previous owner. I'm like, does it roll? And it does, so far. Oh, look at this 90s GM teal. So everything works, right?
Yeah, except it doesn't drive.
It doesn't drive. Just minor details. You can hear it beeping, like the battery works. Oh, this interior, guys. Oh, wait till you see this. Check it out. It's literally rolling off the trailer right now, but I can't wait to show you this back seat. Guys, look at the back seat. Are you serious? Manual, oh, look at this. Look at the bottom of the door. I love it already. I had heard about these, never seen one before. I love you. 24 valve, dual overhead cam. All right, so we're obviously gonna have to push this into the shop. Door handle's right there. Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? Yes, it's got the old Cobra CB radio. We got paperwork from the original owner, who, by the way, was a GM employee and spec'd this car out himself, and it was in kind of his little museum. Dude, this thing is so cool. Oh my God. I never thought I'd have these kinds of emotions for a $3,000 Oldsmobile. It was 3,000 bucks, 500 to have it shipped from Bud Lake or Lake Bud, New Jersey. Shout out to people in that area. Looks nice. Oh my God, I'm like so nervous right now. I wanna hear this engine. I will gladly help you push this beautiful, beautiful car. Oh my gosh, there's a factory sticker on the windshield that says HUD. It's a sticker from 1992. There we go. There we go. This is seriously the only way to get to know a new car. Pushing it off a trailer, trying to get it to start. Oh my gosh, this is an obstacle course. Oh, Jesus. Almost died. Would have been worth it. All right, little more geek out stuff. This thing has an Astro roof. That's a sunroof from back in the day. I'll explain. Oh, yes. Astro roof. What do you think?
Beautiful, man, beautiful. I told you, like I said, everything works except it doesn't drive.
All right. Oh my gosh.
I'm telling you, it's nice. It's nice. I love it.
You like it? All right,
Good
cool.
luck with it.
Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Here is some cash money for you. I appreciate everything.
Thank you so much.
And yeah, thanks, man. All right, have a great one, thanks. Great driver, took care of me. This thing was here in like 2 days. This is gonna be cool. Look at this HUD sticker. And this is one of the first, if not the first, heads-up display ever made on a production vehicle. 1988 Oldsmobile introduced heads-up display on the Cutlass. This is a 92, so it may be a slight refresh, but I can't wait to see what that looks like projected up on the windshield. And did you know BMW didn't get heads-up display until like 2004, Audi was 2010, and Mercedes was like 2014. Olds Cutlass got you beat. Like I said, this thing's been sitting around for a while, and look at this interior, guys. What in the world is this? Audio bass control? Are you serious? Look at that. We have temp and fan controls on the steering wheel. Look at the manual trans and look at how nice this interior is. It has 94,000 miles, but it was primarily owned by this guy at GM. Look at the seat controls, and this is an international edition. Guys, my main goal is to get this engine started, so we're gonna get it in the shop somehow, but my second main goal is to get you guys to geek out about this car, because I know you didn't wake up today thinking you were gonna appreciate a 1992 Oldsmobile Cutlass, but this thing is so cool that I think you'll be on board. Let me know in the comment section if you've ever seen the Quad 442 badge like this before. And I don't know about you guys, but I am dying to know if this aqua blue metallic paint is going to clean up. I don't know what it's gonna look like, but you know who might know? Future Alex. Future and slightly better looking Alex here. We're in the shop. And let me show you how I made this section of the trunk look like that. It's so nice. I'm just gonna clean up this one little area. And with this lubricator, we're gonna use the clay mitt in this section because I'm sure there are a ton of contaminants in the clear. So I haven't buffed anything at all, but we're gonna use the Avalon King Armor Shield 9 on this spot. This will bring back the shine of almost any paint. Eventually we'll buff the whole car, but I just wanna see what this will look like. I mean, I've applied this to cars that aren't buffed and it just really makes it look nice too. The Avalon King ceramic coating is super easy. You just wipe it on and literally just wipe it off like you're done. That's it. And you could do like massive sections of the car and coat the whole thing in like an hour. But oh my gosh, look at the difference. Hold on, we'll pull the old tape. It's a different color car. Oh my gosh. This is gonna look so good, and it brings out the metallic. This is aqua metallic, and now you can see it. So what's cool with the ceramic coating is it bonds with the pores in the clear coat, filling them. So it'll give you like a sacrificial layer and protect your car, but it'll also bring out the gloss and shine. And man, is this car gonna look great when we ceramic coat it, and I know that because I've, well, ceramic coated most of my fleet. All right, I'm gonna take a picture and send this to some of my detail friends. Man, do I wish they had ceramic coated this thing like 7 years ago before it sat outside. It would have protected the car, and the DIY ceramic coating kit from Avalon King is awesome for protecting your investment because a new paint job is very expensive, but what's not expensive is the actual ceramic coating, and they're having a killer deal right now. It's very, very limited, so I'm gonna drop a link down below. So normally each DIY kit is $75, but for a limited time, you're gonna get 2 for $99, plus the first couple hundred of you guys are gonna get a free Psycho Pro ceramic spray. The spray alone retails for $45 and it's amazing. You can use it as a standalone coating or a booster for the Armor Shield 9. So take advantage of the deal. Click on the link and let's continue trying to get this thing to start and run. All right guys, so the previous owner said it does crank, it just doesn't start. I'm just curious as to what this sounds like. We'll check the oil first. Can you imagine if we can get this thing running outside so we don't have to push it in? Wow, good hood shocks, that's a great sign. Here she is, twin dual cam V6. So kind of, they remind you twice, like of course, if it's a dual cam V6, that's kind of all you need to say. But anyway, here are the dual overhead cam heads just bolted onto a bored out 3.1 that used to be a pushrod engine. Not a ton of room to work on, so that's fun. But look at these stickers, man. This whole thing looks really nice. And this is officially the largest coolant reservoir I've ever seen in my life. It goes all the way down there. That's crazy. And look at this, the battery is under this washer fluid reservoir that has a hole right here, maybe so you can see the battery. Sorry, we're gonna get to checking the oil, but there's just too much cool, weird stuff. But look at the headlights, and then they have these angle bubbles on each one, and there's a procedure to adjusting them. This is insane, guys. There are a ton of firsts. This is like a very kind of historical car. Nothing is easy to get to though, I'll tell you that much. Yeah, this looks like fun. Even this looks good. Anyway, the only thing that's easy is we can check the oil. The dipstick is right here. What do we got? What do we got? Oh, wow. It's like brand new. Seriously, it's like they just had the oil changed, which like doesn't make any sense at all unless they were trying to hide something. Whenever you see new fluids or new plugs and the car doesn't start, it's not a good sign. All right, guys, first time sitting in my 92 Olds Cutlass Supreme International Edition. And this is where I want to be in life. This is it. I have peaked, guys. Doesn't get any better. Look at how slanted the instrument cluster is. It reminds me of the writing in the Star Wars movie for some reason. But we have a super old school GM key. Oh my God, this is cool. Let's see what happens. We are in neutral. We have HUD controls right there. Factory CD player. Let's see what happens. Oh, she lights up. It cranks. Yeah, it's obviously not starting at all. Yeah, all right, let's start looking at basics. Do we have fuel? Sorry, what's this? Oh, it's an ashtray. Oh, it's got ashes in it, weird. Doesn't smell. You know, we're gonna see if there's a CD player in there and the CB radio, and look at the vents. What is this? Oh, what? There's like little cup holders in here. I don't even care if the car doesn't ever run. I will hang out in here for the rest of my life. All right, guys, we're gonna take this cover off. I'm looking for the fuel Schrader valve right now, and I'm curious to what's under this cover. All right, a couple of 10s. We can see the intake manifold and 3 of the fuel injectors. I'm gonna put these original GM nuts back. I don't wanna lose anything. Oh, here it is. I don't think I needed to take that off, but here is our fuel Schrader valve. There we go. That's weird. The Schrader valve actually looks bent, and there's definitely some fluid here. All right, well, right off the bat, we have an issue here with this. Oh my gosh, okay. We got fuel. All right, so even though that Schrader valve is bent, we definitely have fuel.
Dude.
It smells old. What up?
So I was just researching real quick on this car. I don't think you understand how rare this thing is.
Well, 112. That's, the guy even has like a little piece of paper in there.
No, that's how many came in stick. That's not based on like the color is super rare for this. There's only like 20 of them ever made. Only 18 made it to the States.
Are you serious? In this aqua metallic or whatever?
Yeah.
All right, this car just got even more rare. This is the rarest car I've ever bought. My E55 wagon and my CL65, they made like about 150 of. And this one, there's 18 in this color. I mean, I don't want to get too kind of old man Corvette where it's like, you know, this is one of 3 that's built on a Tuesday, right, with like a laundry list, but that's pretty cool. And we got fuel. That rhymes. I got the fuel pressure gauge out. We will eventually check that, but I do think it has enough fuel pressure to at least start, you know, or do something. So we got to go after spark, and this is where, well, at least one of the coils is. No, actually, there's a ton of wires going down here. I think this is where the ignition coil is, right by the exhaust manifold. So that's not good, but let's see if we have spark. Oh, I think these just pull right up. Oh, there we go. Nice sound there. Ooh, these are beautiful. Wow. Now let's take a look at a spark plug. What do we got? Oh, ugh, that's not good. That is one very, very crusty looking spark plug. What is this thing? Is it AC Delco? I mean, I'm sure it's been replaced at this point, but yeah, that's not good. The gap is massive too. I'm gonna pull the fuel pump relay if I can get this cover off. Okay, cool. This is one they used to label relays. That's great. Okay, cool. Just want to crank it, and I don't want to flood the engine. All right. Yep, we got spark. Wow. And we had a lot of compression coming out of there. Another test we can perform is by using what's called a Noid light. I believe we're gonna need this one here. So we're gonna unplug a fuel injector. These can be kind of a pain, but you just push it in like that. There we go, pop it off. And then we are gonna put this Noid light right here. It's gonna plug right in. And if this injector was getting power and ground to fire, we'll see this light flash. No, we got nothing. No injector at all. We have no fuel injectors working at all. Okay, well, we're definitely getting somewhere. That could be as easy as a fuse, or it could be the ECU or something. We'll figure it out. We are getting this thing running. All right, guys, I'm blocking my neighbor, so we have to move the car. We're getting the supercharged van involved to pull it. All right, here we go, guys. This is, I guess, my first drive. Not really. Oh, wait a minute. Is this thing locked? Oh, wait. Hang on, Max, hang on. I can't turn the key. Okay, all right, we're good. Oh, geez. We gotta go wide. Okay, this is a lot easier than pushing. We've done a lot of pushing. We've done some winching too with the ML55. This is nice. Oh man, oh, I wonder if the heads-up display works. I don't even know. I gotta say, it rides nice. Nice suspension. Horn works. Oh, keep going, I'm just testing the horn. Probably shouldn't be testing stuff right now. Ah, we made it up the ramp. Now we can push it most of the way. Of course, everything is going on today at my shop's parking lot. All right, guys, I have these on the dolly so we can move it around a lot easier in the shop. And now we can drift the Oldsmobile. These are the best, by the way. Don't hit the McLaren. Actually, don't hit the Oldsmobile. I don't really care that much about the McLaren right now. Get away from my Olds. Oh. I'm getting old. In the shop, we're continuing on with more electrical diagnosis, and I found something interesting. Only one pin on the connector to each injector should have power. Check it out. So we have battery voltage. And then if we go to the other pin, guess what? We have battery voltage. So the engine's computer controls the ground side of the circuit. So one of these should just be, you know, ground going to the computer, and one of them should be power. Both of them have power, which makes sense why our Noid light doesn't actually light up. You need power and ground. According to the depths of the internet, we should have an ECU underneath our coolant reservoir, the biggest one ever. So I just took out a couple of nuts. Look at this thing. It is massive. Jeez. And there, oh, there it is. Okay, ooh, what does that say? Remanufactured by General Motors. All right, so we already have a replacement ECU in this, which isn't uncommon for an early 90s GM or any car to need a computer. Nowadays, ECUs don't really fail nearly as much, but this has been replaced. It could have gone bad again. It could be shorted inside. There's also a fuse and relay too to provide power for the injectors. That could be bad. We could have a harness that's pinched together, something like that. But honestly, guys, I think this is gonna end up being electrical, and then, well, then we gotta cross our fingers that the engine doesn't have a rod knock, but we'll get there. Again, you know, in between electrical diagnosis, we gotta find cool stuff. I mean, guys, this is an underhood light that you can pull out. Look at how far it goes too. This is insane. Look at this. So you can go around and fix your car with a light that Oldsmobile provides for you. Guys, I don't know if Doug DeMiro has done a video on this car, quirks and features and everything, but it has like every quirk and feature. It just has them all. What is this called? Porta lamp. Porta lamp is what they called it. That is so cool. I've never seen that in person. I've heard about it. Yeah, the bulb is kind of shaking around in there. You better believe after we get this thing running, we are putting a bulb in this, see if it works. See, I wonder how bright it is. Now I'm going to go ahead and crank my Porta light back into position. It comes with a crank handle, like a window. Oh man. I'm never getting rid of this car. That's just, it's too much. I love it. So I discovered that this car has batch fuel injection or multi-port fuel injection. So that could mean it's either firing all 6 injectors at the same time or one entire bank at the same time. So this is different than more modern cars with standard port injection that had sequential fuel injection where the computer can control each injector individually. This does not have that. It came out later. So let me show you what I figured out. Here's our ECU and here's the connector. The pink wire is 12 volts and these 2 blue ones are for the ground side. So if this is shorted inside of the PCM or ECU, same thing, we should be able to disconnect this test right here and still get power on the ground side. And then we can test on this side as well and kind of isolate it maybe to the harness, or it is possible one of the injectors has shorted out and because it's batch, it's bringing the whole system down and essentially feeding power to both sides. Lots of wonderful broken car possibilities. Now I did look over all the fuses that are here because there are many fuses that could cause this issue, fuel ECU. So I physically looked at them outside, but it's good to just get a voltmeter on there and see that they're actually working. And so far we are looking pretty good. Yep. Okay, so that's all of them. Although it says, we have the 3.4, it says we should have a 10 amp and a 3 amp for whatever SVC stands for. We don't have anything there. That could be speed volume control. Some of these older cars had that compensation where as you accelerated and went faster, it would adjust the volume. They had that back in the day. It could also mean like service. I'm not sure, but both of them are missing. One of them's a 3. I'm just gonna get some fuses in here. Couldn't hurt. I doubt this is anything, but there we go. I'm sure this won't start, but I plugged in the other injectors. We have our Noid light. Let's just see what happens with those fuses in there. Oh, stop. Oh, are you kidding me? What? I was not expecting that to start at all. That is insane. It started and we had Noid. I don't even know what's happening right now. I was not gonna do that. I'm like, yeah, let's just, whatever. How is it missing 2 fuses? That makes no sense. We shut it down right away because I don't know if it sounded good, but this doesn't make any sense. Like I talked to the guy that owned this for the last few years. He's not the original owner. You know, that was the GM guy, but the last guy, you know, he said this thing did run and he's had it for 7 years and he's driven it 4,000 miles mostly in the beginning and then it sat forever. But the car wasn't really messed with. You know, like why would there be 2 fuses missing? And what in the world does SVC stand for? I don't know. We got to figure that out. I didn't like how it sounded when it started, but it started. Okay, in talking with the previous owner, again, he's not a mechanic or a car guy at all. It's kind of funny. He said he bought this just to daily drive. He didn't know anything about it. He's like, it was just kind of a nice car to daily drive. That's it. But anyway, he had it at a shop. It was at the shop for a couple of years for a clutch cable repair that they don't make the clutch cable anymore. He had said that the last time they were messing with this, it would start and die. And he thought it was fuel related, or that's what they told him. So I wonder if this shop, maybe a year or two ago, whatever, pulled those fuses for diagnosis purposes, maybe to stop the car from starting while they tested it or something, and they never put them back in. And then the guy basically gave up on the car and put it on Facebook Marketplace. So that's the only logical explanation as to why these two fuses would be missing. All right, guys, I have no idea what SVC stands for this car. Obviously, it makes the car run. And it looks like the blue wires that I thought were ground from the ECU are going to the back side of those fuses, which wouldn't make sense if it's ground controlled. It'd have to be power controlled. Honestly, I don't have an answer right now. I'm gonna continue to research, and I've Googled this, and like nothing comes up. I plugged in the injector. We know we have oil. Let's just see how this runs. Hopefully it sounds good. I don't know. Kind of shooting in the dark here. That noise we were hearing, maybe it was the fan hitting that because I had it over here. So I just put everything back. We'll see what happens. Fire in the hole. Okay, maybe it blew the fuse. Okay, hang on. Might have blown the fuse. That could be the whole problem. Do we have power at our 10 amp? We don't. We have like 0.78. It definitely has almost 1 volt though. It's not going open. And we have 2.5 on the 3. Let's check continuity of the fuse. That's good. It's good. The fuses are good, but we get 1 volt on this one, 2.5 on that. I can't even figure out what SVC stands for on the internet. I don't know if I'll be able to figure out what the proper voltage is there. Research continues. So when it just started, I had this disconnected. If an injector is shorted on this style batch injection system, it could wreak havoc on the rest of the system. Let's just try this again. All right, put the Noid light in. Also, let's see what happens. We got Noid light action. It won't start. Check this out. I found a hose that's totally disconnected and it's going to the map sensor. And if we look here, this is great that the car gives you this diagram, but one of the hoses from the map sensor goes to HVAC and cruise. One of them goes to the fuel pressure regulator. It tells you where it is under the intake manifold. That's really well, cool that it tells you. Not cool that it's under the intake manifold. And then this one branches off. But okay, I mean, we have two things going on here that a shop that worked on this could have been doing. They could have wanted to disable just the fuel injectors, so they removed the fuses. And maybe they were seeing a fuel pressure would go up by disconnecting its vacuum source, to the fuel pressure regulator. If this was a start and die situation, maybe it's got a really bad regulator where the diaphragm is ripped and it's just sucking in a ton of fuel. Those plugs didn't look that good too. You know what, actually, that could be this hose here that doesn't go to the regulator. It looks like it's just a vent, and that could be to sample, the surrounding barometric pressure. That could be that, but then make things even more confusing. I found another vacuum line that goes this way. I don't know if it would do one of these. You never know, but we got to figure out where this goes. Let's pull out our favorite coolant tank in the whole world. Where is this going? Okay, I have it going all the way down here. Is this some kind of vacuum reservoir? Oh wait, no, I see where it goes. It goes to something. Hang on. All right, what do we got going on here? That looks like an air pump. Is this our hose? Oh my God, these get so bad, guys. Oh man, old vacuum hoses get nasty. But no, that's not the one. Okay, there's ours. And there we go. It goes to the top of this valve. So this is what we have going on. This is a valve for this, which is a gigantic air pump. And you can see these huge hoses, and they eventually lead into metal pipes. Now, if you guys have worked on newer cars, you may have never heard of an air pump, so let me explain to you what it does. An air pump does exactly what you think it does. It pumps air. And on older cars, it pumps air into the exhaust system to blend in with the exhaust before the catalytic converter. Now, especially at cold start, there are unburnt hydrocarbons in the fuel. Basically, it's running rich. So if you inject oxygen into the exhaust system, it will help burn this unburnt fuel, heating up your catalytic converters and reducing emissions. So the pump's not on all the time. It will eventually shut off after everything is up to operating temperatures, but that would not cause our Oldsmobile to not start. Unless this right here does actually go right here, and it's causing air to bleed off and not get a good map sensor reading. So I'm not exactly sure where the vacuum line is supposed to go that vents. I think that looks like it's venting, but it shouldn't hurt to plug this in. And although it's a little short, I mean, this could make sense. Hang on. If the guys over at Oldsmobile routed this down under the harness and it plugged in like that, that could make a lot of sense. Yeah, I could see it. Let's try to start it again. And I also connected a fuel pressure gauge to the Schrader valve right here, so we'll see what we got. Oh, we got good enough fuel pressure to start. Yeah, that's fine. And still no start. Okay, so we're kind of like back to where we were, but we have injector pulse width now. So yeah, and we had spark. Why isn't it starting? I stuck a jumper on, the battery's getting kind of weak, and let's see what it sounds like now. Oh, all right. All right. That light was getting brighter and brighter. It fired again. Sounded okay for a second. Typically, if your engine will crank, it's got enough juice to fire off the injectors and the ignition system, but some cars, it doesn't. And maybe an older car like this, it's just pulling too much. Let's try it again. I'm gonna let it kind of run for as long as it wants to. There it is, guys. Wow. That sounds really great. You can actually hear the air pump. That is the air pump. It's injecting air right now for emissions. 90s, oh, now it's off, okay. Wow, this sounds awesome, guys. Are you kidding? It's got a miss. No smoke though, which is kind of weird, but I do think it's misfiring. Whew, it smells pretty rich. I mean, it wouldn't be weird for it to misfire. We don't know how old the gas is or, remember those plugs? Yeah, it's got a little shake for sure. Okay, we give it a little, oh yeah, she's shaking bad. It's got a miss, all right. Okay, all right, we gotta figure out the miss. But she runs, that's crazy. Well, we got good fuel pressure too. Man, I wouldn't be surprised if it needs a fuel pump. Like a lot of these older cars, these old GM cars need fuel pumps, but it doesn't seem like it needs a fuel pump and the fuses haven't blown, so that's good. We gotta figure out the miss now, but the guy before me said his last leg with this car was that it would start and die. It hasn't died yet, but who knows? We only ran it for a few seconds. Hey guys, I'm curious about something. I'm gonna try and start it without these fuses. Obviously, I know that it started only after putting these in, but it only started once until we put the battery charger on it. So I wonder if those are needed. It's just too weird that they were both missing. Another weird thing is that I had to have this winched onto a tow truck and it was like a big deal because it'd been sitting kind of like in this guy's yard. And I asked him, will it start long enough to get it on a trailer? And he said, no, it just starts and dies. Like that's where he left off with this car and it's just been sitting basically in the grass at his house or whatever. So yeah, it seems, I don't know. We'll try putting it in gear. Maybe that's when it dies. But anyway, now we have the charger hooked up and no fuses. Oh yeah. Oh no, it does start. It does start. Okay, those fuses had nothing to do with anything apparently. Ooh, it shakes bad. Service engine soon, it's OBD1. Never mind guys, I guess we don't need the fuses. I still haven't figured out what those mean. Oh, and we don't have any heads up display. Oh, we do. I just moved this up. It was on the minimum setting, whatever. Get out of here. Look at that. We got heads up display. Oh, and I can adjust it. Cool. Hold on, let's see. Heads up. Oh, there you are. And goodbye. No way. Never getting rid of this car. This is too cool. I gotta shut it off. It's misfiring. Are you kidding me? This is the coolest thing in the world. Oh, hang on. We gotta see. Does this thing have a CD in it? How cool would that be? No CD, darn. That's like a tradition on the channel. We check the CD or tape deck and see what's in there. 1992, we could have had like some Bon Jovi in here, although that was the beginning of grunge, so we could have gotten into some Nirvana and Pearl Jam too, but we got nothing. Hang on, I wanna see if we can see what's moving in here. Yes, you see that? All right guys, let's see if this thing will go into gear and also see if it dies out when it's running. Man. Maybe because I took the battery charger off? Sounds good though. Oh, okay. Started and died like the guy said. I think the starter's going bad. Now we're clicking, great. Oh, okay, we're back. All right, first gear, letting the clutch out. Hey, it's moving and it's dying. Okay. Yeah, this has got to be it, guys. This has got to be the problem he was talking about. This would not make it on a trailer, I don't think. I just want to straighten it up for the rack, though. We got to get underneath there and see what's going on with the underbody. Stay. Where's reverse? Do we have reverse? I mean, we did. Oh, this thing's got problems. I can't wait to hear this thing at 7,000 RPM. Even running and dying like this, the throttle response is just insane. It's just like, wow, wow. Should we do exhaust? I don't want to modify this car. It's like so rare, but what if this sounds good with exhaust? I don't know. Come on, baby. Man, this has got a lot of problems. Bad starter too. Tow truck guy was right. It does everything but start. We duplicated the problem though. That is definitely what the guy was talking about. And it doesn't seem to need the SVC fuses. Still don't know what that even means, but I don't know about you guys. I don't really even care anymore. Let me know in the comments, what does that stand for? Is it just service? Oh, and something else. If you guys have been watching the channel for a while, you might remember the Buick Grand National when I first got it and I worked on it in the parking lot of a parts store. It would start up and run and then die. And you would put it in gear and it would almost die immediately. It died. Okay. And it ended up being a really weirdly broken fuel filter where something internal to the fuel filter actually physically broke. No noise? Noise. But it would fire up, and then this part inside would block the fuel flow. It would die, and then when it died, it would lay back down, allowing the fuel to flow to the engine. I'm sure this fuel filter's old. Same era car. Maybe that's it again? Wishful thinking. Oh, and real quick before we lift the Cutlass, I want to let you guys know I'm having a blowout flash sale on my foam cannons. So right now, when you buy a foam cannon, you get a wash mitt and a clay mitt totally free. I also now have flat rate shipping for my US customers at only $6.95. There's limited stock, so definitely take advantage. Just click on the link below, put the foam cannon in your cart, and the 2 free mitts will be added automatically. Thanks so much for your support. Now back to the video. Olds Cutlass going up in the rack for the first time. This is a momentous occasion since I'm gonna keep this thing. How many times will I be lifting this car? All right, guys, let's inspect this thing underneath together. Right off the bat, we have a VIN tag. That's pretty cool to see on a plastic bumper. And we're definitely gonna see some rust. Hopefully it's just all surface rust. So the story I got was it sat in this GM guy's personal collection inside up until 7 years ago. So this car was probably mint up until, you know, just kind of recently. And it sat outside, dirt and grass. So we're gonna get a lot of this. But what in the world is going on? Is this a leaf? This is a leaf spring car. What? It's like a Corvette. It's got a leaf spring suspension in the rear. I mean, W body guys might be like yelling at the screen right now, telling me that they all have that. I don't know, but that's cool. This is some kind of weird looking bump stop? I don't know. Again, especially Southern guys, you guys are, oh my God, that thing is rotted out. The exhaust on this car, it looks horrible, but it's actually pretty intact. Like if someone took the time to sand all this down and paint it, it would be fine. It just sat outside. Yeah, what I'm looking for mostly is this kind of stuff. Like this is still nice when you look at the pinch welds. If we clean this up, it would be very, very nice. Let's see, the lines here obviously look surface rusted. I've seen what bad lines are and they start to bubble. These aren't actually bad. Again, you could, if you wanted to, sand all this stuff down, repaint it, it'd be fine. Yeah, none of this is bubbling up. Same thing with the subframe and the control arms. I mean, they get flaky. It's just kind of cheaper cast steel here. But, you know, these you probably just replace for aesthetic reasons, but they work probably really, really great. Here is our gigantic starter, which is buried behind a bunch of stuff. That looks fun to replace. Oil filter, AC compressors, definitely some kind of oil leak going on. And there is our new looking alternator. It is a factory Delco one. That's nice. Exhaust manifold, the awesome Get Rag transmission, Get Trag, Get Trog, I don't know. Gears of North America, sweet, 1992. Axle boots look good. I don't really seem to be much playing anything. But yeah, I'm really liking these frame rails. Hold on, check this out, guys. Yeah, this could look really nice. Did they accidentally get like clear on here? It looks so good. Usually I don't clear coat anything, but you can see the metallic. It's metallic aqua. Wow, that's beautiful. This is the kind of stuff that takes forever, like I did on the DeLorean. Would be minting all of this out, but we gotta get this thing to run and drive first. I really wanna figure out the Misfire. It could still be ignition. So we have a brand new spark plug. We're gonna pull out the spark plug wires one by one, and this is going to test to see if any of these are dead. All right, that's good. So I've just pulled that one out. We already tested that one outside. All right, we got spark on that. Yeah, we got a spark. That's the first one in the rear, so that's working. Next one. Yep, we got it. All right, and the last one. Yeah, we're good. We got nice clean spark. Those spark plugs are nasty. I think that's definitely where we should look first. It could be a bad injector, but we gotta do plugs anyway. All right, so you can replace the spark plugs if you remove this cowl and then get fancy with some extensions. And it wasn't over torqued either, that's a good sign. It's always a little nerve wracking on unknown cars if you're gonna strip out the threads in the head from someone else over torquing it and getting the plug in one last time. Some of you V8 Ford guys know that with the 4 threads in your cylinder heads. All right, let's see what we got. Okay, take this off in stages. Oh yeah, they're bad. Yeah. Okay, so I got all the spark plugs out. We definitely need valve cover gaskets, especially right here. This one is leaking pretty good, and that could definitely cause a misfire. But these are nasty plugs. The gap on these plugs is 60 thousandths. It's supposed to be 45 thousandths, so it's definitely got to jump. On a more modern ignition system, that wouldn't make that big of a difference, but this is an older ignition system with nasty, nasty spark plugs. That could be our entire misfire. Now, why the thing is dying, I don't think it's that. That is completely unrelated, but the fact that it's shaking, that could be the plugs. While we're waiting on the spark plugs, let's take a look at the air filter. What do we got? So far doesn't look too bad, but it's the other side that we really care about. No, it's good. I mean, I'm gonna replace it. You know, while I'm in there, I'm gonna replace a lot of stuff on this car that's not bad just for maintenance reasons, but that's definitely not an issue. New spark plugs are in. We're going with some NGKs. I was gonna do AC Delco, but I don't know if AC Delco is still the AC Delco that we know and love. Maybe it is, but I'd read some stuff that it's not, nothing's made here anyway, so whatever. I use NGKs and everything else, and they seem to work good. New spark plugs going in. We will eventually do the valve cover gaskets. I wanna make it run good. Okay, so once it's seated, then you just need about an 1/8 turn. That's it. Because this is just a tapered style spark plug. I know I mentioned that a lot, but it's important. Some people will just keep cranking. You don't need to do that. Oh, and hang on, I got a new air filter from the parts store. They do have some stuff for this car, like normal stuff, not everything. I had to place a few orders. And the airbox is perfectly clean, so we can just slide this in. All right, cool, we're on our way. All the spark plugs are done. A little bit of silicone spray on the boots. We'll get those in too. Spark plug wires look fantastic. The boots look great too. I doubt they're original. All right, let's see if it runs better. Fire in the hole again. Hey, it started right up. That was nice. I think it still has a little bit of a miss though. Yeah, a little bit, little shake. Oh yeah, you can hear it. Definitely still misfiring. Hear that put, put, put? All right, well, you gotta start with the basics. That wasn't it. I'm gonna see if we've changed anything as far as it dying out. Starting up much easier with the spark plugs, I'll say that. I'm gonna put it in gear. We spinning? Oh my gosh, I don't know how to drive. That was me. It's got such a long crank. There we go. That wants to die. Okay, well, that's first. All right, you rev it up. And then put the clutch in and it's done. It dies. Okay. We're gonna go back to the fuel pressure gauge. I wanna watch this as it dies. So great fuel pressure right now. Seems to die when you rev it up. Yeah, so he wants to go right, yeah, fuel pressure's still good. Although this could still be a fuel pump problem or a clog somewhere in the fuel system. It is possible. I want to try and isolate the misfire, although that's not related to it dying out. I want to figure that out. Start up, baby. Come on. All right, I can get to these injectors. I'm going to pull one at a time, see if it changes how it runs at all. I did not do that. That was the car. I can't get this thing off. Okay, there we go. So that's that. That made a difference. That made a difference. That made a difference. It's not these injectors. It died. Darn. It's such an immediate cutoff too. We're doing two things at the same time, misfire diagnosis and dying out at diagnosis. It's not the same thing. It'll run off 5 cylinders and not die. We gotta run it again. I'm gonna pull these spark plug boots here. Oh, that one's up, unless it's arcing. Oh, there we go, yeah. That's not it. That's not it. That's not it. Is this thing running good now, though? It's running pretty darn good right now. I don't even know if it's misfiring, actually. Which is possible. We could have just needed to work these injectors a little bit, and that's it. It's just sometimes they need to come back to life. This is running really good until it dies. Two separate things. Like, that is something else, but that was running really nice. It won't start at all anymore. There's so many separate problems. Yeah, we got nothing, guys. All right, well, here's the good news. We got it to run well. I liked how that engine sounded. I don't think it's misfiring anymore. And now we need to move on to why it doesn't start outside of the starter being bad, and when it does start, why it dies out immediately. I have a lot of ideas though, and I think we're gonna be dropping the fuel tank on this thing and taking a look at how nasty it is on the inside. If you guys were around for the Fox Body revival in the parking lot, that thing had been sitting for so long that sediment built up at the bottom of the tank, and it would allow it to run until it sucked up enough of this, rusty dirt stuff to block it, and it could still show pressure at the rail. The Grand National with a plugged fuel filter also showed pressure at the rail, but there wasn't volume behind it. So I think this is actually a fuel issue for it dying out, but running-wise, I think we're good. I think the injectors needed to work. And we're gonna clean those in the next one too. We're gonna get this thing to drive in the next video. And hang on, guys, there's a few other things I discovered I gotta show you. So I discovered this car has an aftermarket hood locking system. So when you turn it, it looks like this, and this rod pops out. But actually, now that I'm looking at this hood, I don't even know what that does. because this is the factory hood latch and it ends up over here. I thought the rod would actually block this part of it, but that doesn't line up at all. All right, so I don't know how that works. Let me know in the comments if you've ever seen that. All right, hang on guys. I have not sat back here yet, and this is what I was most excited about with this car, and that pass-through and a center console we can open. So much discovery. Oh my gosh. No way. Oh, this is one of those things I wish all of you guys were with me right now. You know, like one or two at a time to just experience this. What are we gonna find? Oh, more cup holders. Look at that. And they're like in mint condition and they're held in with Velcro. Right there when you close it, there's nothing in here. Now, the previous owner said he left me some stuff in the trunk, so I haven't checked that out yet. I'm assuming this goes right into the trunk. We have a car cover. Guys, I don't know if this video is gonna do these seats justice in the rear, but they are so comfortable and so cool and so unique. And it feels like really massive back here. It's got kind of like this big bubbly window. You got a ton of room for your arm. And there's a lot of leg room as well. These seats are in such good condition. I love these GM seat belts too. Of course, you got plenty of ashtrays. One right here as well, and it's like plastic in here. It's kind of weird. And just look at how beautiful even the back of the seat is. This is all leather. Well, right here, this is not leather. And it's just comfy. This is just where I want to be, besides the driver's seat. Is it weird that this is like one of my favorite cars now? I'm not tall by any means. I'm like 5'9" on a good day, but this front seat is all the way back and I still have room. That's pretty good. My Buick Grand National has a really cool sticker under the sun visor. It's one of my favorite parts of the car, but let's see what we got here. Anti-theft steering, locking, column system. Oh, this has to be the aftermarket thing, right? I don't know what that thing is. To unlock the ignition, rotate the steering wheel to the left and right while turning the key. Okay, no, that's factory. From the factory, it's got this little button thing. So yeah, I don't know what the deal is with that. Oh, let's see, does the sunroof work? Oh, it doesn't work. That stinks. I'll add that to the list of stuff I have to fix. Everything is gonna be fully functional in this car. It's got a super cool headlight switch and they do work. Fog lights, you guys already know all about the audio bass control with the factory CD player. This does have automatic climate control, auto down windows. It's a 92, people. All right, let's find out what's in the trunk of the Quad 442. I'll tell you what's on the other side of the trunk. Just beautiful mintness.
That was legitness.
Untouched bolts, beautiful, beautiful paint, VIN stickers, tire information. This is just, I love this kind of stuff. Look at how nice this is. So, so cool. Okay, and then he told me he was giving me a clutch, and this was all given to him by the original owners. Many years after he had bought it, someone in the original owner's family had reached out and said they had a bunch of extra parts they were gonna throw out, so he took them. So we have a brand new clutch. I don't know what these are, air intake tubes. I guess we'll eventually find out where this stuff goes. Oh, and this is funny. These are the original clutch cables that went bad, and here's a brand new one. He told me this thing was dead at a shop for like a couple of years because they couldn't find clutch cables and it just sat there, and they like built their own, and then the original owner's family gave them these. So these are like one of one. I guess you can't find these anywhere. We get some synchro mesh fluid. What is this? We have like an NFL poster? What? Well, it's from 2018. It's not that old. Maybe I'll open this in the next video. Take your guesses as to what team this is. This is nice to see when they put some sacrificial carpeting down, or carpeting to cover stains in this case. Great. We have a car cover that says Max on it and some 1990s carpeting. We have a receipt. Oh, I love receipts. It's for 59 bucks. That could have been a lot of stuff depending on what year it was. It's at ShopRite in 2018. We got broccoli, garlic, banana. God, honestly, that stuff probably costs 3 times as much now, and it's only 2024. All right, let's see what we got in here. Sweet. Oh, look at this. We have all the RPO codes. Awesome. Oh, base coat, clear coat. Cool. Yeah, that's what I thought. That's part of the reason why this car looks so good, even though it's sat outside. It doesn't have single stage. It has normal, modern 2-stage with clear. That's great. That had to have been the very early stages for this car. I love all of this, and let's see what we got for a spare. All right, we have a spare. And it still has air, and the paint looks beautiful, and there's the jack. I could probably go on for days about cool stuff that I find in my new-to-me 1992 Cutlass Supreme International Edition, and I'll probably find some more stuff to show you in the next video, but there you have it. There is the coolest car ever made that you've never heard of, and for only $3,000, well, plus $500 to the shipper and some spark plugs, and plus whatever it's gonna need in the next few videos, which I will throw throw whatever this car wants at it, because I'm probably gonna keep it for the rest of my life, and I want it to run and drive perfectly down the road, which is the goal for the next video, the first drive. So we did get it to start and run pretty well in this one, but obviously it's got a ton of other weird issues with not wanting to start or stay alive. So we have to fix all of that and continue on. But anyway, I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. I hope you love this car and can appreciate it maybe just a little bit more than at the beginning of the video. And if you did, give it a big thumbs up, share the video with your friends and family, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It's free, easy, it's one click, and it really helps me out. But most importantly, have a fantastic day. I'll see all of you in the next video. All right, so when it just started, I had this disconnected. All right, now if you guys have only had newer cars, you may have no idea what an air pump even does, and we're gonna be learning. Now if you guys have worked on newer cars, you may have. An air pump works by injecting compressed air. An air pump does exactly what you think it does. It pumps air. All right, so I really want to figure out the misfire. So what we're gonna do is